Welcome back to this video series on using Apple's GarageBand for iPad. In step one, we covered how to set up and record a single track of audio. In this episode, we're going to dive deeper into recording, exploring how to layer multiple types of recordings together to form a complete track. We will also look into recording multiple inputs at once, allowing for greater collaboration between performers. We have open here the project file from the last video. Let's have a quick listen to where we're up to. Beautiful, and you can hear that it's looping there. I've kind of recorded a bit of a guitar thing, finger picking thing. I'm liking how this is sounding, but it feels a little bit too centered at the moment. So to add some width, I'm going to layer in another recording of guitar playing exactly the same thing. Then I'll pan one track to the left and one to the right, and the subtle time and tonal variations between the recordings will make them feel much wider. To start, I'll label and rename this track to help identify it later. I can start by clicking icons and picking one of the guitars. I like that one. And I can also click in the same spot to rename, and we'll name it Guitar Left. Perfect. Then I'll tap on the track header again and select duplicate to create a second track on the timeline with duplicate settings. We'll name this one Acoustic Guitar Right, or just Guitar Right. There we go. And we'll call this Right for the Right channel. Now, with this track armed for recording, as shown by the track arm indicator turning red, we are now ready to record our second layer. Just remember to set the playhead to the start if it isn't already, to make sure that the tracks sync up nicely, and then to hit stop when you're done and head back to the timeline page. So now we have two recordings. Let's adjust the length of these tracks so that they start and finish at the same spot. In our case, they finish at the end of the track. And we're going to pan these tracks around from left to right. Just note, it will be much easier to hear these differences with headphones on. To pan the tracks, select the mixer icon at the top left of the screen. Then select the track you want to pan. I'm going to go with Guitar Left to start. Then move the track pan slider either to the left or the right to taste. I'm going to go about there. Make sure to always listen back to your changes to hear the effect they have on the overall sound. So I'm going to play now. Awesome. We've now successfully layered two recordings together. Now let's add some other instruments in to kind of fill out the track, and we'll start with some drums. There are multiple ways to go about adding instruments. The first and probably easiest way is to head to the top right corner and select the loop icon. This will open the loop section. One of the great things about GarageBand are the nearly 500 included loops and sounds available for free, and even more available for download if you can't find exactly what you're looking for. I want to filter by instrument type. We'll go all drums. Then I can scroll through the list and click on each to listen to it. You can click again to stop. I'm going to find one that works. I like this one. I like this one. Just a nice simple beat. I'm liking how this one sounds, so I'm going to click and drag it onto the timeline. Then I can line it up with the rest of my tracks. You can see it's already looped it here to match the length of them. Let's have a listen to it. Perfect, I'm liking how this is coming together. Another way to add instruments is to click the plus icon in the bottom left corner of the screen. This will take us to the first page we were at before we started the project. From here, we can swipe through the various instruments and pick one we like. I want to add some piano now, so I'll swipe through to keyboard. And then more sounds, then grand piano. What we will be recording is known as MIDI and is essentially recorded note data that can later be turned into a number of different sounds. This means if we don't like how the instrument sounds now, we can always change it later and keep the notes we recorded intact. To change the instrument, press the instrument icon in the center of the screen and select one that sounds best. You can see there's quite a few to choose from. On screen, we should see a bunch of piano keys that can be played like a regular piano. To reach keys outside of the ones displayed on screen, we can press here to select the switch in the middle, which will switch from glissando to scroll, allowing us to scroll through a different range of notes. To see more notes at once, select the keyboard icon on the left, then choose from single or double layered. I'm going to stick with single, as well as medium, small and large key scaling. I'm going to keep it on medium at the moment. Now let's layer in a recording of piano using the on-screen keys. This works the same as before. Just make sure the instrument track is armed and ready for recording, which it is. And set the playhead to the start if it isn't already, then hit record. Now we can see in the timeline that this recording has been layered in. If we made some mistakes and don't want to go back and redo the whole recording, or just want to make some edits later down the line, this is where the power of MIDI really shines. By clicking on the MIDI track, then again, and selecting Edit, we will open the piano roll window. Here we can see all the notes that we recorded, as well as their timing. Using two fingers, we can pinch and zoom in on the notes in both the horizontal and vertical directions. Then click on the note we want to change. From here, we can change the pitch, the timing, where it was. We can even stretch out the length of the note. Or if the note is too soft or too loud, we can press it again, click velocity, and then simply change that note's volume. I like where it's at. You can also press and drag on an empty area to select multiple notes at the same time. To add new notes after recording, click and drag the pencil icon in the top left of the screen to unlock editing mode. This is denoted by the icon turning red and will allow us to add or remove notes just by tapping. I'm going to go ahead and undo those horrible notes. When we're happy, we can click Done in the top right just to save our changes. There are an enormous number of instruments and sound types to choose from. So explore and find what works best for your project. And remember, with either an external microphone or the device's built-in ones, you can record and layer in any sound you make. Go wild. If it sounds good, it is good. Now, before we move on to step 3, let's briefly look at how to record multiple sources at the same time. Now, sadly, I'm here all by myself. So I'll be showing you how to set up to record multiple people at the same time, even if I can't do it myself right now. This is known as multi-track recording. And to do this, you will need to first have multiple input sources available. In terms of microphones, that will require several external microphones, as well as several preamps to boost and deliver their signal. For me, my interface supports up to 4 at the same time. But I'll set it up to record from just 2 microphones. Do note, however, that multi-track recording can also be possible when combining both real and virtual instruments. This is much easier and can be accomplished by making sure multiple tracks are armed at the same time, then hitting record. Just like so. If you try to record from multiple microphones, however, arming the necessary tracks, GarageBand will notify you that the input channel is already in use. While plugged into your interface, select OK. Then click and hold on the track arm indicator. This will open the input settings. Ensure that the tracks you wish to record at the same time are set to different channel inputs. Input 1 and 2 in my case. I'll select channel 2 or input 2 for the right guitar. This will also change your monitoring settings. So just make sure that the tracks you wish to hear while you record have their monitoring switched on. You'll also see that the big red record icon at the top of the screen now displays the number 2, indicating that 2 tracks will be recorded at the same time. Amazing. Our track is really starting to come together now. We've layered in a number of different instrument recordings, and it's now time to start editing and really tying it all together. Join me in step 3 as we dive into these techniques. We'll see you there.